beauty sisters, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you all are doing all right. I, for one, am not doing all right, and I decided to share it with you guys. So as always, you know I'm coming to you with those relatable topics. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and let's get right into the video. Okay, so as you can tell, I'm looking a hot mess. I literally just woke up and blow dried my hair and left it at that. I'm not feeling too well these last couple of weeks, so that's why I haven't been consistent with the videos. I promise you guys I'm trying to develop a schedule, and hopefully by next week I'll get it together, okay? But number one, sisters, you ever feel like you're just so sick and tired of being sick and tired? Like literally you're mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually drained. You just feel like, giving up. And I'm at that point. I really feel like giving up nowadays, lately, because I just feel like, people try to knock you when you're down, and then they try to kick you when you're up. It's like, pick one, you know what I mean? It's like, people will downgrade you and put you down if you're not doing nothing productive with your life. And then when you start trying, or you start to, try to make an effort and not make any excuses, they still come with the negativity, the bad energy, trying to betray you, the lies, all the works, honey. And at some point in time, something has to give. It's like, it's too much. It's too much, and it's not fair. They get to ride around in their big fancy cars. They get to go home to their big comfortable house, and they try to make you feel like you're not worth it. You don't deserve to be comfortable too, especially when you're working for it. Nothing is being given to you. You're working for it, and people still condemn you or try to put you down or try to set you up. Something. It's always something. And I understand that life is about fighting for what you want and what you believe in, but it gets to a point where you're surrounded by these people, and you start to realize one by one that it's people that you once truly trusted with everything in you, and people that you would never expect certain things from. It's traumatizing. It's traumatizing. I've kept quiet about a lot of things these past couple of years because, it's nobody's business, and we all have our own life to lead. Social media is not to, pour out every single event that happens to you. I understand that. But at the same time, it's a lonely road, guys. It's a very lonely road, especially when you're trying your best to stay focused and make things happen for yourself and your children. And the only thing that hurts me is people don't realize that when they go out of their way to try to hurt me, they're hurting my boys. I could take it. You could kick me over 100 times. I'll get back up. But my kids are being affected by me being kicked down, and nobody cares. I understand they're not your children, so you wouldn't care. But think about it this way. Would you want somebody to do that to your kids? Would you sit back and let people knock food out of your kids' mouth, especially when you know that you've worked too hard for them not to miss not one meal? Would you? Would you allow people to trap your children and make them alongside some type of stereotype when they don't have to be? Would you? It's like, I don't know. It's like I feel so lost. I feel so defeated. I feel so burdened. I feel so alone. I feel so alone, and I know it's nobody's responsibility to care about how I feel, but at the same time, I am human, and I can put on a brave face for so long, you know? These past couple years, I've been trying to bounce back from an abusive marriage. Okay, so far, I'm pretty proud of myself, and even if nobody ever tells me that they're proud of me, I am proud of me. I could look in the mirror and say, I am proud of me. I've done a lot by myself. It was a lonely, hard, rocky road, but only the strongest and the fittest will survive this world. And so far, I think I've done a pretty good job on my own. But along the way, I'm starting to realize that, you know, I was in a pretty bad space. And now it finally hits me why it's so hard for me to heal. And I think a lot of us sisters, we go through that where it's like we're trying to heal, we're trying to become this positive new human being on earth and like reevaluate the type of woman we want to be versus the type of woman that we're exposed to in society. And then it's like you're surrounded by people that will make you take 10 steps back, if you know what I mean, because you'll get so frustrated and so caught up in the idea of you're trying your best, you're giving it your best shot, you're giving it your all, and it's like these people around you, they mean you no good. They mean you no good. And it, instead of, I mean, we're human. Instead of us saying like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna beat them at their own game, it gets to a point where you're tired. You're tired of fighting. You're tired of the mental strain. You're tired of the emotional strain that comes with, you know, being surrounded by people that mean you no good. It's too much. It's too much to bear, you know. And I know personally for me, it makes me wonder if something was to happen to me tomorrow, what would happen to my boys? Because I'm all they have. And so far, these past couple of years after my divorce, it's like God has been revealing to me everybody and anybody that has no good intentions for me. I swear to you, it's like a movie. And it's so freaking scary. Like, I'm trying not to cry. It's so scary. Like, if it's not my father, it's my mother. If it's not my mother, it's my grandmother. If it's not my grandmother, it's a so-called boyfriend that I had at the time or whatever. If it's not a boyfriend, it's my ex-husband. It's just like, you know, I don't keep girlfriends. I don't keep girlfriends because I'm a mom and I can't keep up with going out all the time and stuff like that. So I say to myself, I save them the trouble. But the thing about it is, I'm trying to figure out, you know, why do people get upset that I don't go out with them? Like, is that all what a friendship is supposed to be? And then again, you will have a couple people that you could associate with and maybe talk to and share your ideas with. And then next thing you know, they're trying to beat you to it. Or they're trying to set you up. It's just like, it's a lot. And I'm trying to understand, like, why? Why in the world would you want to hurt somebody for having aspirations? Why would you want to knock somebody off their path for having aspirations? And 9 times out of 10, you have the same aspirations as that person. So think of it this way: you guys could work together, you guys could support each other, both of you could eat together. Like, why does it have to be one or the other? Why does it have to be a dog eat dog situation all the time? Like, it's that mentality that is so draining to me. Because I'm a good-hearted person and I'm like wholeheartedly. I would do anything to see anybody win. And it's like everybody around me is the total opposite. It's the total opposite. They would rather see me and my kids struggle, suffer, go through the worst than to see me work hard and be productive and provide a stable, comfortable life on my own. Why do you want to subject me to such cruelty? Why? What I'm trying to understand. Sisters, help me understand. Why do family members and so-called friends and ex-boyfriends become your number one enemy when you're trying to do good for yourself? I'm trying to understand it, because once upon a time, they were the ones screaming, "I love you." They're the ones screaming, "I love you." So what happened to that love? What kind of love is that? I'm trying to understand, what kind of love is that? I don't get it. It's just like, it's mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling to me. And sisters, I know I'm not the only one going through this, like, where you waking up every day feeling like you're at war. You're waking up every day feeling like you're on a battlefield. And us women, we have enough on our shoulders to go through. We have enough to bear on our own as a whole, as a woman. Much less to go out there and face some things and then come back home and have to deal with toxic, hateful people that you thought that you could trust. It's like, give me a break. Seriously. Upon trying to heal from domestic violence, let me tell y'all something. I am not ashamed of my life or what I've been through, because it has brought me thus far. It has motivated me in a way I never knew. Okay? It has taught me self-love that I never knew I could have for myself. Okay? And anybody that wants to use my past against me, kudos to you, darling. Because last time I checked, you probably got more skeletons in your closet than I do, that you would never want nobody to know about. But my skeletons are there. People want to talk. Let them talk. Let them talk. At least you're a topic. Let people talk if they want to talk about you. You're not losing nothing. At least they worried about what you got going on. You have their attention, basically. Yeah, you have their attention. And it's just like, okay, you got some people's attention, do something with it. Show them what you're made of. Don't dwell in the negativity, because that's what they want. They want to bring you down. They want you to sulk in their misery, because misery likes company. So, show them like, all right, I'm going to rise to the occasion. Sister, the worst thing you could do to a hater is make them put some respect on your name, okay? That's the worst thing you could do. And it's just like, that's what I'm out here doing. Is that what people hate me for? Is that what people condemn me for? I mean, literally, I should have been dead 2 years ago. Literally. Y'all would have been at my funeral. And I'm here. I'm making the best of my situation. I'm pushing forward. I'm not walking around crying, begging nobody to help me or feel sorry for me or anything. Like, I'm just doing what I gotta do. And sisters, I know you can relate, because we all have to do that. We all gotta just be a soldier for ourselves and ride it out by ourselves at the end of the day, because there's nobody that we can rely on better than ourselves. Nobody. There's nobody you could trust better than yourself. When you learn to bet on you, that's the best thing you could ever do for yourself. And trust me, with all these people that's been betraying me and betraying you as well, because I know I'm talking to somebody out there that's going through something similar, don't lose no sleep. No more sleepless nights. You hear me? Because at the end of the day, if you're a believer like me, the Bible tells you that he will make your enemies your footstool. So let them do whatever it is that they want to do, honey. Because at the end of the day, God knows best. He sees all and knows all, okay? And nothing can happen to you unless he wants it to happen to you. So fret not. But don't lose no more sleep over nobody that's out there trying to drag your name, trying to paint you as something that you're not, trying to stop your blessings, trying to make you feel like you're not worth it, trying to trap you, trying to set you up. The whole works. Like, don't do it. Because you know what? I'm going to share a story with you guys. My father, okay? We have always had a toxic relationship. He is one of the first abusers in my life. One of the first, the main abuser in my life, my whole entire life. And I'm not afraid to tell anybody now. I used to hide it. I used to hold it in because people look up to him and people think he's, the bomb.com. But no, behind the scenes, he's a very vile, toxic human being. And I've seen it clear as day since the day I was born till now. I've always tolerated it, I've always dealt with it, and I've always kept it pushing because I only have one father. And whether I love him or agree with his behavior or not, he's my dad. And any good person in their right mind would want, their children to know their grandfather despite the circumstances. But, it's come to the test where I shared with you earlier that God has been revealing things to me. People and places and things that no longer serve me. God has been proving it to me, okay? And it has me in this mood, I swear to you guys, but before I get into that, let me just share this real quick. My father witnessed all of the abuse I went through in my marriage. He was there for it all. He's even encountered my husband a couple times, okay? And upon me getting out of the divorce, a woman, when you're going through abuse, domestic violence, you feel trapped, you feel stuck, especially when you share assets with the person, especially when you have children with the person. It's like, that bad experience becomes a nightmare because you really and truly just want to be done with the situation. You just want to turn a new leaf, and it's like it will come back to haunt you each and every way because you have a child with them, or there's certain things that need to be ironed out. A divorce takes time, but trust me, after the divorce, it's like you're still kind of trapped. So mentally, that could do a lot to a woman, right? But we try to embrace our reality. We try to be strong about it and push forward no matter what. Okay, my father watched me fight for my life, literally. Okay, he watched me fight for my life as his firstborn child and his daughter, okay? And he did not want to help me, okay? Let me tell you how he helped me. When I got a divorce and my husband was being spiteful, he took my truck away. He made the bank come and take my truck, the truck that I was paying for. Okay, I came out of work one day, my truck was gone. I'm calling my husband, he's not answering the phone. He took off, he disappeared. Remind you, I had a 6-month-old child, newborn at home, and a 3-year-old toddler. Okay, cool. My father decides that the car that he originally bought me, okay, and he gave it to his mom to use, that he was gonna take it from her and give it to me after she almost damn near wrecked the car. Okay, the car had dents, scratches, all kind of stuff all over it, and he finally was like, okay, well, you made it this far on your own, let me give you a car so you could get around. Okay, cool. I was helping him pay for this car. I was helping him maintain the vehicle. The only thing that was in his name was the car insurance, okay? But I was giving him the money to pay for it, and I was maintaining the vehicle as my own. All right, I had this vehicle for 2 years, going on 3. I'm hustling, bustling, doing what I gotta do, and one night my father texts me while I'm at work, and he says, you're almost 30. You know, what's your plan for your life? Because you got these two boys and need stability and stuff like that. And I'm like, I got it all figured out. Like, I'm doing what I gotta do. I'm focused. And he's like, oh yeah, well, you haven't shared anything with me. And so I'm like, well, you haven't been interested. Even before my divorce, you didn't care. You didn't show no interest. Like, you were concerned for me and the boys. So I've just been doing what I gotta do and hold my head high. I haven't been looking for any sympathy from you as my father. You know? And so he's like, okay, what's your goal? And I'm like, all right, well, I got this lined up. I start sharing things with him, and I'm like, I'm almost done with this, and I got this done and this lined up. And like, he literally was so shocked. He was like, when did you have time to do all of this? And I was like, when I was in and out the hospital, you know, putting band-aids on my scrapes and bruises. In the meantime, running back and forth, trying to figure out how I'm gonna get my kids to school. I'm gonna get them so I could go to work, how to get them situated, like where I'm gonna live. Like, in the meantime, I'm doing all of that. Yes, I found the time and the effort to line all these things up. And I was halfway through it. Like, halfway through it, y'all. Let me tell you. Like, I was at the finish line, okay? I was about to be set. Me and my kids was gonna be good after this divorce. All right, boom. He texts back, oh, so what if there's a glitch in the plan? And I'm like, what do you mean? What glitch? Like, once you plan out something properly, it should work, right? Okay, so randomly, because he never makes time for his grandkids. Never. He always has an excuse, his work schedule, or his girlfriend doesn't want them at his house and stuff like that. So randomly, after that text, after that discussion, he decides to call me the Friday night that I was on my way to work. And I'm wondering, how did he know I was on my way to work at that time? Because he doesn't know my schedule. But I'm pretty sure it was his mother, my grandmother, that told him, because she used to babysit so I could go to work. So she knew my schedule. He calls me and he's like, I need you to drop the kids off for me at my house for the weekend. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of going to work right now. Like, you're going to make me late. Why didn't you call me earlier in the day? And he's like, oh, it was last minute. I just need you to come drop them off. And if you don't drop them off, I'm going to take the car from you. So I was like, it's literally like a half an hour away from me being late from work. Like, I can't. Your mom lives right down the street. Why can't you just go pick them up from her house? Like, she lives down the street, 2 minutes. I'm late. He's like, no, come drop them off right now. They're my grandkids, this, that, and third. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna argue with him. So I call my grandmother. I'm like, can you pack their bag? Because I always leave their clothes and whatever they need at her house the day before I drop them off. So I'm on my way there. I'm like, can you just meet me at the front door with their clothes and stuff? She's like, okay, cool. I said, your son wants them now. I don't know why all of a sudden. But she said, okay, that's fine. Go get this stuff from her, turn around, drop them off to his house. When I get there, it starts raining, and he had to come out to help me bring one of them in because one of them fell asleep. So he's like snapping at me, talking about, oh, you're such a worthless person. You're late for work now. So, like, I didn't say nothing because I'm like, he could never be talking to me, because if it wasn't for him, I would have been on time. So, I really don't understand what he's saying to me. So, I just ignored him, y'all. I was just like, he ain't talking to me because ain't nothing worthless over here. So, he goes in the house with them. Okay. I go to work. I'm late. I call him, let him know that I got to work. And I said to him, I said, can you check to make sure that my oldest son does his homework over the weekend? And he was just like, oh, you're supposed to do that. What kind of mother are you? And I was like, it's Friday. And you demanded them. Normally your mom helps them with their homework when they're with her over the weekend. So now you have them. I'm telling you, how does that make me a bad mom? And anyway, hung up the phone. I'm at work. Then my son calls me back while I'm at work, and he's like, "Mommy, Grandpa won't help me." So I literally go into the break room, and I'm sitting on the phone video calling my son after I'm already late for work to help him do his homework when his grandfather's sitting right there. And I was on the phone for maybe like half an hour to an hour with my son doing his homework with him. Then, on my break, I start to text my father, and I'm like, you could have just helped him. And I was like, anyway, I'm thinking about moving soon. I'm thinking about purchasing a home. And he was like, you came to me about that last year saying that you're going to purchase a home. And I told you you're not ready. I don't think you should do that by yourself and this, that, and the third. And I was like, why I can't do it by myself? Like, there's a lot of single moms out there that do things on their own. Why I can't buy a home for my children? And he was just like, oh, you don't need that. You can't afford that. I said, how you gonna tell me what I can't afford? Like, this is the second time I was about to buy a home and you try to talk me out of it. Like, I don't understand. And then yet you're asking me what are my plans for my life and telling me that my kids need stability. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's not like it's coming out of your pocket, but as my father, I expect you to want to guide me. I expect you to want to support me. And, like, you're always coming with the negativity. Like, I don't get it. So he's like, why do you want to buy a home? And I'm like, because the kids need their own room. They're starting to fuss and fight over the simplest things. And I want to move from where I'm at because my ex-husband keep harassing me. It's like time for a new beginning. And I was telling him, like, I need a new car. I think I'm going to buy it because he had a white BMW that he bought for my brother. My brother was young as hell at the time. He was like 8 years old when he bought it. And he claimed that when he gets to high school, he was going to give him that white BMW. Then he turned around and said that when I graduate college, he was going to give me that white BMW. My brother and my sister don't have contact with him. They don't talk to him, period, because, as I said, he's a toxic person. So their mother moved them away to New York, and they don't really talk to him like that. So the BMW has been sitting there for years. My brother is now 13 years old. So I said to him, I said, I'll buy the BMW from you for my birthday. My birthday was coming around the corner. And then he was just like, where are you getting all this money from? You should really sit down and tell me before you make any purchases. And yeah, sorry. He was like, yeah, you should really tell me when you're making any purchases and stuff like that so I could guide you financially because you talking a lot. Like, you say you're going to buy a house. Now you're going to buy the car for me. Like, how are you going to afford all these things by yourself and this and the third? And I'm like, I got it. So the next morning when I left work, okay, I texted him right away and I said, I'm on my way home to take a shower because I work night shift, okay? So I get home at 6 a.m. in the mornings. I text him, I said, I'm on my way home. Let me know if the boys need anything when they wake up. I'm going to go take a shower and take a nap. He didn't respond. Okay, I woke up at 1 p.m. and I texted him again and I said, I'm just waking up. Do the boys need anything? He said he didn't respond. He didn't respond at all, okay? I texted him again at like 2:30 and I said, I'm going to go do their laundry and go grocery shopping. Let me know if they need anything. He still didn't respond. Sisters, when I tell you, like, I know it's a long story, but I'm going to get y'all to the point real quick, okay? I'm going to wrap it up real quick and then y'all going to understand where I'm coming from, all right? He waited until 8 p.m. at night. This is the next day. This is Saturday. Remember, I dropped him off on a Friday night, to be exact. He waited till 8 p.m. to call me. I was actually on my way back from the laundromat, and I was sitting down with a friend because he saw me, and he was just like, hey, how you doing, da-da-da. So when my father called me at 8 p.m., he was literally going off talking about I neglected my kids for 24 hours, and what kind of mother am I, and they don't have no food to eat, and they don't have no clothes, and all kind of stuff. So I'm like, wait, hold up. Like, I've been calling you, texting you since 6 a.m. this morning, and you have not responded. I keep asking you, do my kids need anything? I'm so confused. So I'm like, no, wait, I gotta go get my kids. Sisters, when I tell you I dropped everything, like I left their clothes in the laundromat, I was like, oh no, he is not telling me that I neglected my kids. My kids, anybody that know me know that my kids, I take pride in my kids. Like, they come first before anything. Like, my kids are my world because I know that I'm all they have. So I don't play them games, okay? And I rush over there. Meanwhile, he's texting me some derogatory messages. He's telling me, like, girl, well, I didn't see it at the time, but after the fact, I saw it, okay? But I'm going to tell y'all after, okay? So I get there, and my phone is going off. He's texting me some vile messages, like, real vile. But I wasn't paying attention to it because I was driving. I get to his house, and he's standing in the driveway with his mom on the speaker, my grandmother, okay, on speaker. And I literally get out the car, I walk around him, and I go to his front door. I open the front door, and I say, boys, I'm here. Come on, let's go. Sisters, when I tell you, I felt somebody snatch me from behind. Like, all I felt was my lace wig flying back, okay? And somebody grabbing my throat from the back. And he was like, don't go in my house, you bitch. Da-da-da-da. Sorry for my language. He was like, don't go in my house, you this, that, and the third, and all kind of stuff. So I was so shocked. I'm looking at my lace wig. I'm like, oh, like, I don't understand what's going on. So I pick up my wig. I'm like, wait, hold up. What is your problem? I'm confused. Like, you just called me and told me that my kids is hungry. They haven't eaten in 24 hours and all kind of stuff. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. So you attacking me out of nowhere. What's the problem? And my grandmother's on the phone screaming, talking about, what is going on? What is going on? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Can somebody tell me? So I go back to the front door. This time I go in the house. I'm standing in the front foyer right there. I didn't go no further than the front door. There's like a little foyer area right there. And I discovered that my little sister is there, which I had no clue she was there. So she came back from New York to visit him for a day, I guess. Okay. I said to her, I said, can you go get my boys? She said they're downstairs playing. I said, can you go get their bags and stuff? He comes in the house. She's going downstairs to get them. He comes in the house. He pins me against the wall and starts choking me with both hands around my throat. Now, sisters, now you tell me, that sound like something that's right to you? Like, wouldn't you react in a way like, what the hell? So I'm like pushing him off of me. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I couldn't even breathe. Okay? I couldn't breathe. And then he's like, I'm squirming because I could feel my breath leaving my body. Like, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't nothing. And I'm squirming. I'm doing like this. I'm like, get. Like, I couldn't even talk. And I didn't want to, like, hit him back to make him feel like I'm trying to fight him. Because I'm like, you know, I had enough of that in my life. I had enough of that. Like, my ex-husband, I've been through all that with him. Like, I've been seeing life and death. So I don't got time. Like, you know, I'm thinking to myself, like, no. Like, this is a nightmare. This is a living nightmare because I've came too far for this. Like, what is going on? So then my sister comes back with my boys. They see him choking me. He's screaming, I could kill you right now. I'm going to make sure that you don't do none of those things you told me you was going to do. I'm going to make sure you're a nobody when I'm done with you. I kid you not. That's what he was screaming while he was choking me, y'all. He was like, I'll kill you right now. Your kids won't even cry for you. Nobody won't cry for you. And when he was saying that, like, my son jumped on him and was like, let my mom go. Why are you doing that to my mom? Grandpa, get off of her. And he finally let go. When he let go, y'all, I couldn't, like, I just literally ran out the house. Literally. Ran out the house, okay? When I ran out the house, I went on the front lawn. I called the police. I called him. I said, I need help because he called me to come get my kids and he keeps trying to attack me. Like, I don't even know what's going on. We didn't have an argument. And they're like, you sure you guys didn't have an argument? I said, like, I'm confused right now. I'm sitting here with bruises on my body and I could barely talk to you. And she was like, yeah, your voice is like real. So they sent an ambulance before the police got there. The ambulance came, they saw the bruises on my neck, they saw the bruises on my hand. And they was like, you gotta go, you gotta get sent out. So the police come, and instead of them come talking to me, they want to talk to him. And I was like quite confused. And then they finally came over to me and said that he accused me of neglecting my children for 24 hours. And I said to them, I'm confused. And I broke out my phone and I showed them the messages that I sent from 6 a.m. to leading up to the event, asking if they're okay. And the night before when he called me saying that he want them. And they was like, oh, it doesn't matter, you're trespassing, so we're going to charge you with trespassing. I said, how the hell can I be trespassing when he called me to come get my kids? Like, I'm confused. Meanwhile, my grandmother's still on speaker. Okay? All right. I'm just pointing that out. All right. So they're like, you need to go to the hospital because like your throat way could close up on you like at any minute now. And I said, I'm not leaving my children like this. I'm not with him, not at all. I don't care if I'm dying. I'm not leaving my kids. So I called my aunt, which is his sister. She agreed to come and get my children. And then upon that, they charged me with trespassing, okay? Then they said that they were going to call DCF on me because of the allegations that my father made towards me as a mother. I said, okay, but I didn't put them in any harm's way. They were at his house when everything occurred. I just got here. And that's why I called you guys to help me retrieve my children because he's been fighting me since I got here. They was like, well, according to him, this, that, and the third. So I was like, okay, whatever. So, guys, I was in so much pain that I couldn't even argue with them. I was like, whatever, write up what you gotta write up, do what you gotta do. They wanted to put handcuffs on me, but the way how my hand was bruised up, I guess she felt some sympathy, and she was like, you know, I think your tissues are scarred or something like that. And I was like, yeah, because he was trying to break my hand while he was choking me. So, and mind you, this is the hand that I write with. This is the hand that I do everything with. Okay, just to point that out to you. Okay, so my aunt took the boys, all right? She was texting me while I was in the ambulance, and she said she was going to get down to the bottom of it, ask him what his problem was and stuff like that. She took the car seats out of my car so that she could take them from me until I get out the hospital. When I went to the ambulance, guys, before the ambulance drove off, he literally sent the police for my car keys. He told the police that I stole his car. And I couldn't talk to defend myself. So I just handed over the keys. Because I knew by the state of Connecticut, by law, that is my car. And I couldn't bother. I was just like, take it, whatever. Okay? Because I was like, no, this is ridiculous. So meanwhile, I'm in the ambulance. And after he took the keys, after he sent the police officer to take the keys from me, he's texting me more vile messages. He texts me, you don't know what the fuck you just did, and you don't know who you're effing with, bitch. And I'm sitting in the ambulance lost as hell because I'm like, what did I do? Like, I'm still confused. I am confused as hell. I don't know what I did. I didn't attack him. I didn't argue with him. I did nothing. Okay? And so the ambulance takes me away. They do x-rays. They do the whole 9. They tell me that I need to pay close attention to my throat because my airway was closing up. Like, I was like seconds away from suffocating to death. They told me that the muscles underneath my arm is sprained really bad. So they gave me a whole bunch of prescriptions and told me that if I have any dizziness, blurred vision, or anything like that, I should come back to them immediately because that means that, you know, this, that, and the third. Okay, meanwhile, my aunt is like, how you gonna get home from the hospital? How your kids gonna get home? Like, what the hell happened? Da, da, da. I'm like, girl, I don't know what happened. Like, I'm just as lost as you are. And I'm like traumatized. Like, I can't believe this really happened. Like, I feel like it was a setup. Like, that's the only thing. Like, I feel like it was a setup because of the conversation that I was having with him the night before when he asked me, what am I going to do with my life? What are my plans for my life? And I told him everything because he's my father. I thought I could trust him. And if you notice, anytime that he did text me a vile message or when he was choking me, he kept saying, when I'm done with you, you're going to be nobody. I'm going to make sure that you're nobody when I'm done with you. Okay? That's what he kept saying. Okay, so I'm in the hospital and I'm putting all of this together in my head, and I'm like, this was planned because there's no way in hell he knew my schedule unless my grandmother told him. And if you notice, when I got to his house, he was standing and driving on the phone with her. Okay, on the phone with her the whole time everything happened. To me, that's like a scapegoat. That's like a backup, like to try and say she was a witness when really I ain't do nothing. I just was like, give me my kids. Well, my kids. And I'm surprised that they didn't arrest him because my little sister was there. And she's underage. And that's domestic violence in front of children. So I'm trying to figure out, why am I the only one that was charged with so-called trespassing? Come to find out, sisters, that when I went to court the next morning out of the hospital, I went straight out of the hospital. Okay, straight out of the hospital to the judge. And he was just like, I don't understand why he wasn't arrested. And the police report says nothing about the children. It states nothing about him. It just states that you were an angry, negligent black mom, basically. I said, wait, what? Wait, me? Huh? He was like, why wasn't he arrested? I said, that's a good question. And I could barely talk. And the judge was like, oh my God, look at your throat. Like, he tried to kill you. I said, I think so. And he's like, this is your father? Like, your real dad? And I'm like, my real dad. And he's like, no, this makes no sense. Like, I've been doing this for 40 years. I ain't never seen, I don't know if he said 40 or 30, because I was just like, what the hell's going on? He said, I ain't never seen nothing like this before. This is crazy. And he didn't get arrested, and you got charged with something else from what they told you got charged with. I was like, wait up, hold a minute, rewind, say what now? Yes, sisters. So at the end of the day, I'm sharing this story with you to tell you that, you know, my father set me up, girl. He set me up when I least expected it. He tried to knock me off my feet at this current present time, okay? I'm a healthcare worker, and I cannot find a job because of what my father did to me. He stole my car. He put some false charges on me. He had DCF investigate me for being a negligent mother, okay? And when DCF did their investigation, you want to know what the lady said to me? I kid you not. You want to know what the lady said to me? She said, you know what? I spoke to your father. I spoke to your grandmother. And let me tell you something. Sometimes in life, you got to realize who's for you and who's not for you. Those people set you up. Because after doing my investigation, they don't have no valid reason. They just keep saying that you starved your children, that you didn't take care of them. And from what I see in your home, your kids are well taken care of. She dug up everything about my kids. She dug up everything from way back when, my marriage, everything. She's like, girl, these people set you up. And I feel so sorry for you. Like, for really and truly, I feel so sorry for you. And I was in tears because it just hit me like, yo, my dad set me up because I told him my plans. He set me up. Sisters, next thing I know, okay, because I can't find a job, so I started doing other stuff to make ends meet, okay, because I ain't gonna sit down and cry to nobody. To this day, this is the first time I'm actually telling people what happened between me and my father. I haven't told nobody. I haven't cried about it. I hold my head high and do what I gotta do, because you know what? I leave all them to time, okay? So my father put out a protective order against me. So, you know, I had to remove myself from the whole side of the family, okay? And they knew that that protective order stood, okay? It was my grandmother's birthday, that same grandma birthday, like a couple weeks later after everything happened. And she kept calling me like, oh, you know, you should come over so we could talk about what happened and just like that. And I was like, not feeling it. I was just like, no, I'm not in the mood. Like, I'm good. I'm great. I'm fine, you know. And next thing you know, I find out that they was having a party for her and my father was there. So they was trying to set me up again. Because with a protective order, you can't be within 2 feet of the person, 6 feet, 2 feet, or else you get arrested. So they were trying to set me up again. Like, sisters, when I tell you, I have been going through some BS, okay? Some BS from my own. So let me tell you, if I can make it, if I'm still here, don't let nothing and nobody tear you down and get to you, okay? Because, yes, I was distraught. I was hurt. I was hurt. I was just on the brink of becoming bitter and evil just like them. And I prayed to God, I said, God, please don't let me get bitter. Please, I'd rather you take my life right now than to make me another bitter black woman in this world. The same bitter, angry black woman they tried to paint me as. When Lord knows it was just because I had a plan. I had a plan for my life. I had a plan for my kids. I'm not sitting around asking nobody to help me. I'm not crying to nobody. You know what I mean? And that's what they hate me for. That's why they set me up. That's why. Because I'm not going to them like, yo, oh my God, I'm struggling. My husband left me. I have nothing. I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, I wasn't doing that. And that's why they set me up. And sister, to this very day, I haven't seen none of them. I blocked all of them. Even my cousins. I don't care. I blocked everybody. Okay? And now it's really just me and my boys. And I'm telling you, like, it's okay to be alone. Don't ever be scared to be alone, because sometimes being alone is better. It's beneficial to you because it's less stress, less problems, less people in your way, less negative energy around you. Let me tell you, a lot of us put up with a lot of situations because we're scared to be alone. We're scared to do this thing called life by ourselves because it's a lot. I would be lying to you if I told you that it's not a lot. It's a lot. Okay, there's plenty of days where I break down. I'm telling you. Can y'all see it in my eyes? Like, I got bags under my eyes. I'm like a wreck. Like, these past couple of days, I don't want to do my hair. I don't want to do my nails. You see, my nails is growing. Like, I don't care. Thank God I got some lashes on. Because it's depressing. It's like, how can these people, and then you turn around and say that you're accusing me of neglecting my children, right? Okay, you're attacking me, trying to accuse me of neglecting my children, but how is what you're doing any better to them? How is what you're doing any better to my children? You try to paint me as a bad mother, okay? Like, I can't even fathom the idea because, like, it's so crazy to me. It's so crazy to me. You try to paint me as a bad mother, negligent mother that can't afford to take care of children and stuff like that, when that is completely not the case, has never been the case, okay? Because even when I was married, I was the breadwinner. I was the household. Me. So how is it that you try to flip the script on me and make me seem like a bad mother? So what does that make you? A great grandfather? Because now I can't get a job. And the only thing on my resume is healthcare. I've been doing healthcare for 10, 12 years now, okay? That's the only thing on my resume. I can't get a job. You stole my car, okay? And you know what? You could keep that shit. You could keep it. Because I bounce back every time somebody try to knock me down, and I bounce back better. Every time. Go check my driveway. That's all I gotta say. All right? So, you know, like, you claim that you was grandfather of the year and you like, attacked me in front of my kids. Number one, you were their idol. You were their idol, and you let them see you trying to literally kill me. And ever since then, my son is just like, to hell with grandpa. I don't ever want to see him again. What kind of man is he? Like, I kid you not. That's what my 7-year-old keeps saying. And I have not sat down and have no type of conversations with my children about it. I let it be because I don't want to add to the fire. My kids are already burdened and hurt by their father's disgraceful behavior. Okay, their father has neglected them, turned his back on them, and they have seen the most abuse they could see in their entire little lives. Okay, between their father and my father. So I'm not gonna rub it in like some mothers and sit there and play the pity party like, oh, I can't believe he did that to me. No, we are better than that. We're gonna rise above it. We're gonna be okay. And I'm not gonna sit down and discuss it with my children. My children are gonna be happy. 2 little children. They're gonna be okay and comfortable. And I say all this and I share all this with you guys just to point out to you that sometimes we have something that we want to work on, and it's best to just keep it to yourself. Sometimes the one person that we thought we could confide in and trust is that same person planning our demise, okay? Don't trust nobody, not even the person you sleep with. Take it from me. Because it has left me in the most distraught that I've ever been in my entire life. Like, I don't even think I was hurt like this when my marriage failed. And I'm trying not to cry. Like, I don't think I have been hurt like this when my marriage failed. Because, you know, it's one thing when a man fails you. You're just like, whatever, that's how men are. Like, you know, we're used to it as women, which is sad. But when it's your father, it hits you different, okay? And come to find out, he sold my car so he could buy a tractor trailer, and he quit his job and started his own trucking business. So he started his own business off of my suffering. Hey, you know what? I hope it serves him well. I hope he makes all the money in the world. I hope when he sits there and check his bank account that his conscience eats him up alive. I hope that every dollar he makes off of me and my kids suffering, he loses it as soon as it goes into his bank account. I hope he never sees a profit. Okay, I hope he never, ever, ever reaps the satisfaction to feel like he could justify what he did to us. Because you know what? Dirty money is not a blessing. It's not a blessing. And it will come up and creep up to you and catch you. You trust and believe that. So that's why I tell you guys that even though you feel defeated, even though you feel like you've been fighting your whole life just like me, literally, don't you ever feed into it. Let people talk. Let people do what they're doing to you, because God will make them your footstool. God will make you reap your reward in the end for all your pain and suffering. Girl, just hang in there. Hang in there with me. We could do it together. Hang in there. Because you best believe ain't nobody gonna ever make me feel ashamed for what I've been through. Ain't nobody in the world can make me feel ashamed for hanging in there and being strong. Can't nobody. Nobody. And I'm not worried at all. If I lose everything tomorrow, it's God's will. Because I know there's a better plan out there for me. I know there's more out there for me. And I trust that and have faith in that. And can't nobody take that from me. Nobody. So if he's gonna feel justified in trying to stop me in my tracks and try to turn my world upside down when it was already turned upside down, when I literally just bounced back from death and life itself, and he want to come do this to me right after, as soon as I get back on my feet, he want to do this to me? Cool. I'll be all right. I'll be just fine. Sisters, if you haven't already, you know what? Take this time, look in the mirror, say to yourself, I got this. Because sis, you got it. Okay? You got this. And don't let nobody ever make you feel like you're not worth better. Don't let nobody ever make you feel like you're not going to make it. You're going to make it. And they're going to live to see you make it. How about that? So take care. And God bless y'all. Until next time. Peace.
Because hold on, Christian. Prince, don't push him so hard. Don't push him so hard.
Mom, he's gonna go upside down when I'm done with him.
No. All right, that's enough.